pandangan saya sendirilah ya. Biasa dalam karya-karya saya lebih suka yang visitor dia bagi pandangannya sendiri, bukan saya yang bagi dulu. Okay, I need is their view, is not my view first. Okay, saya nak tahu apa yang kamu telah tengok dan apa yang dapat tu. Sebab tu saya tak bagi apa tu yang tertentu, tapi saya akan keluar satu statement. Okay, ini yang cara saya lah.
To me, I think most of our audience are unaware of that they have that talent already. Semua dah ada the understanding towards art, because semua nak benda cantik kan. Then especially like now, we are exposed with mural wall, mural graffitis, things like that. It becomes an attraction. So it shows naturally everybody understand art. Cuma in what level or what kind of category you understand art, that's another thing. If you're not interested in art, you won't be where art is. So sometimes backstreet dah ada people who take selfie, meaning they understand. They wanted something related with art. So yang beside that, it goes deeper. Whether you want to pursue understanding art in a higher level, it's up to the audience. You can guide them. Like what our friend said just now, he likes the audience to interpret the art themselves. Sometimes fine art is supposed to be like that. You see sculpture, sometimes the creator of the sculpture will define the work something else, but the audience will look at it in different manner, which is not wrong also. You know, it depends on what fits your soul, I think.
Macam saya sekarang, senyum saja loh.
Yeah, just true. Yeah, because this one is individual.
Yes.
Each of us is in a way they are artists. Maybe I felt red color is violence for me. For them it's romantic. So in different people they have a different vision of about this art. So
what I see is if it's the traditional portrait, faces of people, landscape, people would understand. But when it comes to abstract, so then say people would be then they start saying things that may or may not offend, or goes against to the very intent of the artist. So how do you deal with that?
In my case, just now, I think I've already answered the question by saying that when I was in advertising, my job is to please the client, to make sure the client feels satisfied paying for the amount that they spend on the campaign. But then when I went into fine art, if I have one audience, one person who understand and like the work, it's already a satisfaction for me as an artist. No, I'm not out there to create work to please everybody, not to please the whole world. No, I'm there to raise my issue, talk about what I felt that needs to talk about, to raise up. It's up to the audience whether they want to take it negative, positive. It's again to the audience. Let me talk about my previous show lah. Awal Huruf Asal Huruf. It was 5 years ago, 2013. In my case, I have already got a gallery to manage me. So it's always about discussion between the gallery and the artist. It's easier that way because I don't have time to manage myself as an artist to see the gallery, to talk about the show, things like that. So I have to have a gallery to manage me, or an artist manager. So it's always about planning lah, about what you want. Because after my last solo, it takes me about 2 years to relax for a while. Then I spent 3 years to did my research and produce the whole body of work like what you just saw just now in this case, dalam aku dalam Jerukun. So it takes a lot of commitment between the gallery and the artist. So I have to prove to the gallery that the body of work that I'm going to produce is going to be a seller. Proof in terms of it's not by talking, but to produce the work. You know, if the concept is right, things like that. It's about discussion. So how you sustain yourself between that 3 years is something that the gallery have to understand. You know, you have so much of income at that point of time. You are not participating in any show. So sometimes that's why the gallery have to understand, and you have to understand gallery. So in my case, to produce this show, that in between the gallery have to help me to pre-sell some work which is already complete before the show. In this show, you have 2 or 3 works already been sold once it's complete. So it's the gallery job to take the photo of the work, some of the work.
That means you produce it in a copybook?
Not a computer book yet,
Yeah.
but just a form of print. So the gallery will promote it to my follower, the collector who is already collecting my work. So the collector, sometimes they agree to collect the work first, keep the work, and I borrow back the work during the show. So there are 2 or 3 cases in that. So otherwise I'm not able to sustain because life have to go on. Material, I need to have material. There were times before whereby I don't have a single cent to continue doing my work because I don't even have 2,000 ringgit to buy a canvas and a paint. You know, not long ago, maybe 6 years ago, I was still selling nasi lemak to sustain. Those are the things that you have to go through in life if you want to be an artist. You know, I believe our friend is going through that now. You know, someday maybe when he have the right gallery to manage him, a right manager to be able to manage him and see the confidence level that he's going through, then the gallery will be able to, not to fund him, but at least to sustain the artist for the next 2 or 3 years before he completes the whole work. Those are the mutual understanding that you have to deal with the gallery. There's no formula actually. There's no formula, but I started selling my first work when I was still working in a company back in mid-90s. I have some of my work on paper, abstract work, framed and sent to some of the commercial gallery. It was sold at 1,000 ringgit. It was quite a generous size. I think it's about 2 feet by 2.5 feet. So when I was caught in the mid of 90s, the 1,000 ringgit is considered high, you know. Before I left advertising, 3 years before that. So a friend of mine followed me. He's a copywriter based, and asked me, "Who's the blind guy who bought your work?" Because he did not understand, even though he's in the creative industry, but he don't understand why people are willing to pay 1,000 ringgit for just, as far as he's concerned, it's just a scribble of colours on things. But that's why I say again, it's the value for money. How you value things. Some might pay 1,000 ringgit, some might not pay at all. Like my friend might not pay even 1 cent for the painting. If you give free, I take. But again, is the value of the collector. You know, I won't tell you how I can. You know, okay, it started from the early time. So from there, you know the certain value of your work. But sometimes it's the collector who value your work. They were once the first work that you saw just now.
The blue circle.
The blue circle one, the first work. Okay. The work was sold at a certain price. Somebody bought the work at that price. 2 years later, this person sold it at double of the price. So this collector make more money than me, or equivalent than what I make. Let's say if I sell the work for 100 ringgit, you know, they bought it at 100 ringgit and they sell it at 200 ringgit. After 2 years or 3 years, you know, it's more than, you make more money than you put it in FD. You know, you make double of the amount. Excuse me. So it's not the artist who determine the price. You can put certain price, but it's the collector. How determination is the collector to have your work. You can tag a work at certain price, In my case, usually what I do is I will discuss with the gallery. The price will establish how long have you been in the industry. Okay? In my case, I've been in the industry more than 10 years. So there were beginning price, a mid-range price, mid-year, as I go. So sometimes, even with discussion of the collector, sometimes they think the value of the work should be more. Like the previous show I've done is increasing of from the previous show, it was about almost 50% increase. But it's also the value of work. It takes me 5 years to produce another work, another series. So the time, you have to consider the time. So it takes me 3 years to produce the whole body of work. And it's only, in actual work, it's only 15 works. So how do you value 15 pieces of work with the time that you spend 3 years or 5 years between to produce body of work? So again, is you can gauge a price, but sometimes artists have to be very fair to themselves also. I can sell some work with a value of 100,000 now. Okay, the collector might keep the work for 2 years or 3 years. He can sell the work for 500,000. So I can't say anything when the collector sell the work with their value, but it depends. But again, the collector will benefit from the success that you gain.
Because it's
If I push myself late, and maybe 10 years later when we start having show in abroad or be collected by some important figure around the world,
or famous museums.
You don't know. Then whatever collector who has collected my work will benefit from that collection.
So what's important is to remember that the return is not immediate.
It's not immediate, and do not collect art for the money.
Yes.
But the value of the art will increase. The only right that we have is collectors who collect the work are not allowed to produce printed material or produce a commercial work to sell a calendar or whatever.
Cannot.
They cannot do
That
that.
means they have to ask your
They have
permission.
to get consent from us.
Consent from
Just
the original artist.
Yeah. That is our right. Because he only earns the work but do not earn the copyright to produce calendar or card or poster, secondary poster, things like that. The right of the actual work is still the artist.
Okay, ada yang easy, ada yang susah. Yang easy tu saya boleh buat decision sendiri. Okay, yang susah tu nak pandai sendiri. Dan cara yang saya buat tu semua solo.
Jadi bagaimana boleh survive?
Saya ada bisnes sendiri.
Ah.
Bisnes kecil lah untuk cukup cari rezeki lah.
So, unlike Mr. Hussein, you cannot go full-time artist.
Buat sementara waktu saya nak buat decision sendiri. Jika bila nak masuk full time, dia akan balik macam bila saya dalam fashion design. Saya mesti nak follow customer saya punya yang mereka yang nak.
One of the things full time, if you want to survive, commission.
Yes,
that means you have to follow clients' taste and directions.
Yes.
If you decide to do
Yes, we decide.
So that's why one more thing which is lacking in Malaysia for an artist who has gone to a certain level, that what I've gone through, the lacking understanding of the law. The law is not protecting us. In the case of the royalty that you say, that we can claim that. But if the collector sold the work for double or triple of the price, did not give us any token, what can we say about it? Because there's no clause or signing agreement on that. That's why I say it is very important for the institution to understand the value of the work. I critique the institution sometimes, even the Bank Negara punya museum, the National Art Museum. Like Bank Negara previously, few years ago, they bought Relative Museum Pago for almost few 100,000. So it's not their job to buy secondary market work. They bought it at the auction house. It's their job institution's job
To buy it straight.
to buy work straight from
Straight
the
from
artist
you.
when the artist doesn't have any name. You know, when the work, the value, it's not relevant for the institution anymore.
Yeah.
The institution is supposed to collect work which is what they think is relevant at that point of time. You know, that's why sometimes, whether you like it or not, sometimes there are political involvement in art. Sometimes that is where sometimes the artists suffer.
Yeah.